Righto guys, checking back in. We haven't been able to spend as much time as we really wanted to on this thing just because we're just coming back from what you would have just watched is all King of the Strip prep and going there, getting the ute rebuilt, all that stuff. It just ended up being like 3 weeks of just non-stop. And unfortunately, like I said in one of the videos, working on our own stuff, even though a lot of it's after hours, it sort of starts to impact everything, even because this car really has been mostly the after hours build. So just checking on where we're at. I got our badge printed for the grille. Now, unfortunately, because of the way you have to print the mounting hardware and the faces and stuff like that, it means I have to print it face down. So it's not a super nice finish on the face just because of how you got to get it out of the bed. Not as much as I'd like. I spent quite a bit of time cleaning it all up and doing everything I could to sort of clean it up properly, and then I painted it gloss like we talked about. And it does sort of pop from the matte. It doesn't look too bad in the sun, but it's also definitely not as good as I had envisioned it. It just didn't come out as nice as I had hoped. So Rex and I talked about it. We do reckon it'd probably look a bit nicer and just pop a bit better if this badge was painted in silver instead of gloss black. At least the actual print and the mounting and everything came out quite nice. It came out pretty well that respect. Just the color combination doesn't really look that great. But where I'm at with this car, I know it probably doesn't sound too great to say, but this stuff is just taking too long. It is taking too long to chase these little bits of perfection. It's stuff that the owner can have fun doing in his own time for his car. He can chase the look at exactly that he wants, sort of thing. You know, we really want this car to be perfect, but at the same time, we can't. We're going to be here for another freaking year if we keep chasing these little bits of perfection, because it does take a long time to print, paint, prep, do all this stuff. It does just eat into time. So it's there. I like it. I think silver would look pretty good. I'm going to leave that for the owner to sort out when he gets the car back. At this stage, we're just going to focus on getting the car done and finished and out the door. I don't mean like rushed. I don't mean like we're just going to neglect it and just finish it off and flog it out the door. I just mean that we're not going to keep spending days chasing perfection like this. We can't afford it. Owner can't afford it. Like he wants the car back. It's been here for too long. So I don't mean for that to sound like we don't care, because we definitely do. But we do have to start drawing a line somewhere. Otherwise, this car's never going to get completed. So I'm going to leave it like that. That's how it's going to be for now. That's how it's going on the car. And I do look forward to seeing what the owner may do in future with getting that sort of perfect. It does not look too bad in the sun, but the gloss black on the plastic, it just doesn't look perfect. It doesn't look the way I thought it might in my head. So anyway, on that note, moving forward with trying to get this freaking thing sorted and done, I've sorted out our final pieces for our shifter gate setup. They're outside at the moment, but I've completed them so that they fit properly and they're locked properly. I've prepped them, tapped them, they're ready for paint. So I've got to lay some paint down on them and then we can get this shifter gate completed. Rightio guys, cracking along. The grille's in, look at that. Oh, it looks beautiful. So like I said guys, I'm just gonna let the owner deal with what he wants to do with the badge, but installed, it just looks freaking wicked. Look at that, KingBarra. Awesome. Really, really awesome. So anyway guys, I'll endeavor to, hopefully by the time you're watching this, I've got this grill up on our shop for people who would like to purchase one. Obviously they are printed to order, so there is a couple of weeks for the ETA from the date of order, but feel free to shoot us a message and have a chat to us about it. And like I've explained, we are trying to offer it in 2 different offsets, so let us know. Anyway, Rex has been working on tail shaft loop, so this is where it's going to be mounted. He's removed the front seats. The front seats have been removed so that he can do all of this, and it was really important, important to us that we did this in a way that you can just get the tail shaft loop out without having to pull the whole interior apart. So we pulled the whole interior apart so that we can get everything mounted properly up underneath the carpet and everything, so that in future you can just unbolt it, bolt it in. So it's been a bit of a process, a bit of a pain. I know Rex has been dreading doing it, but it is underway, we're doing it. And like I said, this and basically getting the IC7 mounted to the last 2 big jobs. I've started getting all of our wiring sorted. Righto, so we're just measuring up for a belt length at the moment. Another thing I'm not sure that I showed you guys is when Rex remade all of the intercooler mount brackets, we finally painted up the front side of the radiator support and put the pinch weld in for our holes for our intercooler piping and everything. So that's all done now as well. So just continuing to put this together. All right, so that's our belt route. It looks pretty friggin' busy when you got it all in orange. She's a pretty busy belt route, but let's see how she goes. Righto guys, so it turns out that Rex already measured the belt route and ordered some belts. And Bo even helped him measure it the first time and order the belts. So anyway, cancel that belt order, but yeah, the belt is on there now, which is actually really good because I wanted to wait until we got the belt on to get the radiator and everything else in there. So it's good that it's already here because it means we can keep going. Our can covers installed properly. All right, radiator's going in. Rightio guys, so we've got throttle body and everything on, all our clamps, this other intake pipe's on. Can probably get our Mac valve back in and get our boost plumbing back in now as well, which is awesome. So with this in, obviously intake air temp sensor, IAC bypass, a bit of braid, it's all working awesome. Now we went to put on the top rad hose, but because of the nutserts and the way this radiator ended up mounted, which was a little bit further back than where it was when I went for fab, it actually doesn't fit, it's a bit too long, it clashes with that. It just is what it is. It's just one of those things with playing with everything that's really, really small tolerances. So we just cut it back off the bead and Rex is rebeading it at the moment. So we've got our Raceworks bead roller here. Really, really handy little tool, guys. Really handy bit of kit. Definitely get yourself one if you do a bit of fab at home. They completely change the quality finish that you can do in your fab. And obviously having a bead on integral piping, rad piping, anything like that, just so much better. So cut that back and rebeaded it. So it now should fit. Shout out to Raceworks, yeehaw. And yeah, so we'll get that back on. Have a look at our bottom rad hose now as well. So it's all going together. It's getting together. Let's get together. All right guys, I was just starting to get our boost control plumbing back in the car and I realized that we don't have the steering shaft in, so it's probably a dumb idea putting this in. But anyway, that's all right, we'll work around it. Because we don't have the steering shaft in because I was leaving it out until we get our shifter gate set up, which I don't know, can't remember if you actually saw this in this video, but look at that. It's all pretty much sorted out. I took heap of photos of it, I'm not sure if I put it in the video, but all our pieces are there. As you can see, that locks into that valley. And on the other side, it houses itself around the bulge on the back side. So we're all good, all ready to go. Dunk. Dunk. Alright, how good. Dunk, 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 dunk. So really looking forward to getting that set up. So we just got to sort out the actual cable and the distances now, and then it's ready to go. So really sick, really cool. So we get that sorted. Once it's sorted, the steering shaft can go back in. It's yeehaw. One other thing we do have to get sorted is a throttle cable bracket. We still have to make one of those, which we'll do tomorrow, and a bracket to hold our gearbox dipstick, which will mount to the back of the engine there. So a couple other little things to get done. But there you have our top rad hose thermostats in. Yeah. So also while this is going on, guys, I'm currently annealing the line separators, the stepped ones that I'm actually printed in black, just because obviously where they're going to be right here, right behind the radiator. So you know, this thing's going to run at about 80 degrees, 90 degrees. They're going to have to deal with that sort of heat. So annealing them in the hopes that it sorts it out, and they will deal with that sort of heat. Otherwise, going to have to try and seek a different solution of what to make them out of. So anyway, hopefully it'll be all right. Just putting our tail shaft loop together. All mounted up and painted up and pretty. It's very nice. Very cool. Once that's sorted, we're going to get ourselves a shifter cable and get our column shifter working, which I'm excited about. Rex went to the hardware today as well. Got another one of these plugs, which is just a generic 2-pin, which means I can change this so that it is the female side for the AC pressure switch. So that just means I'll be able to change this over and the pressure switch for the AC system will be able to get plugged in and finalized, which is sick. So moving forward, everything's moving forward. It's happening. So keen to get this shift cable set up and the shifter gate, whole shifter setup working. Once it's working, that means the steering shaft can go back in. Once the steering shaft's back in, the wastegate can be installed properly. And once that's installed properly, the dump pipe and everything can go back in and all the hot side can get finalized and installed properly. All that can get finished off. And then intake and all that. So really, really keen to do that because it's going to be sick. to see this all put together properly. All right, guys, so just swapped in our new lift pump. So we did have the Raceworks Red, which is like the 70 gallon per hour. We put the Raceworks Black in, which we had been waiting for stock of for a little bit. So it's 140 gallon per hour, which is just an insane amount of fuel flow. It's not, we don't necessarily need the fuel flow, but the Black is the only one that's rated for ethanol and alcohol fuel. So just to be extra safe, we put the Black in this one, because obviously we plan on this being flex fuel. Although in the shop ute, in the yellow 1 tonner, we are running the Raceworks Red, and so far it's not been a problem. We don't think it would be a problem, but just to be completely safe, we put the one that's rated for ethanol in. So it's finally in there, and we're just getting our shifter cable in now. Oh, yeehaw, nice. And I just remembered that I still have to wire in the flex fuel sensor. Still got to do that. I get to do that ASAP. So my stepped line separators appear to have annealed pretty well. They don't look like they're too deformed or anything. So once it's back down, we'll chuck them in as well and see how they go. All right, boys and girls, here she is. Let her rip, tater chip. Hook. First. Neutral. Third. Second. First. Second. Third. Neutral. Reverse. Park. Us. We on, boys. Righto, guys, so it works. It works, but there's a few things that we're just not super stoked with. Like, it's not really defined, the gear selection. But that being said, like, there's a fair bit of play just in the column. We haven't actually secured the column inside the car yet. There's a few things that, yeah, we'll just wait. We won't jump the gun at the moment and start, you know, making any decisions or anything at the moment. We'll wait until we get it all sort of buttoned up and see how it actually operates from the lever inside the car, because it could be a bit different again, because like we said, there's a fair bit of slop just in the column and stuff, in the mechanism. It is a 40-year-old friggin' setup, 50-year-old setup, so, you know, we'll just see how it goes. But it works, it's solid, it's what it was meant to be, so we'll just keep on going with getting it together and wait until it's sort of started and see how it goes. Our biggest concern, though, obviously, is ensuring that the gate maze doesn't actually hold the selector halfway between gears, because that's when you start to burn clutches and stuff in the box, and the box starts to get unhappy. So that's the main concern, is ensure that obviously the placement of the gears in the maze are correct with the actual selector on the box, to ensure that it's always in a gear and not halfway between gears. So there's a few ways that we can go about fixing what we might have to fix, though. It doesn't particularly need to change the gate. Might shorten the radius of this piece, which brings everything closer together. So there's a few options, but anyway, like we said, we'll wait until we operate it from up top first. And just before I drop it down to have a look at that column shifter, you can see tail shaft loop. All sorted. All right, let's try this from inside. All right. Was that park?
Yep.
Right. Let's park. Reverse?
Yep.
Yeah, that's third.
That's third.
That's neutral.
Third.
Third.
So that's neutral.
Third. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's not enough to get to second. That's neutral. Go back. Yeah, back.
Back to
Down
that.
second. Then you push the lead, whichever way it's got to go for the next gear. Yeah, see, that was second. Okay, so low. So go up to second. And now just don't twist it around, but just like unlock it to the next gear. Now you got to go further.
As far as I can go.
There it is.
Yeah, there's something catching it up inside or something.
Yeah, okay. Okay, slowly twist it to third. Okay. So that's third.
Mm-hmm.
So is it okay, neutral? That's neutral, just push it. You pull it towards you next, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's in neutral, it was just hard against the gate. Okay, so go back to third.
All right, so at the moment it's all pretty good except for third. So our first stopper, which is meant to be for neutral, you can just go into third. Like neutral's not in the gap where it should be, and you can go straight to third from reverse instead of hitting the neutral stopper and then going into third. So that's about the only thing at the moment that's annoying and concerning. Apart from that, it's all working the way it should. So it may end up just being a little bit of revision to the actual maze. We may just have to bring third a bit further down, closer to second. Well, not sorry, I shouldn't say that. We have to bring neutral a bit further up, closer to park in the actual maze, just so that you can't go past neutral into third. Apart from that, everything else is fine. So, but again, we'll wait until everything's assembled properly and see how it feels once everything's properly assembled. But that's what we're working with at the moment. Apart from that, it's all sweet. All looks pretty good, feels pretty good. But yeah, unfortunately, it is just working around a fair bit of slop in the mechanism, old stuff. It just is. If we have to deal with this slop and there's not much else we can do with it, we'd rather leave it the way it is. Because accidentally being able to go from park, reverse, neutral, and accidentally going straight into drive, we'd rather that happen than if we were to move the neutral gate closer to reverse, accidentally being able to go straight into reverse. That would be worse. That would be our worst scenario. If we had to deal with the slop one way or another, we'd rather it the way it is. But like I said, our main concern is ensuring that it doesn't keep the selector halfway between gears, and it actually does drop into a gear every gate. So that's the main thing. But yeah, the main thing is that you can't actually hit, at the moment you can accidentally hit drive from reverse. You can't accidentally hit reverse from drive. So we'd rather it the way it is at the moment than if we have to deal with it the other way around. Anyway, that's it's in there. It's sort of adjusted how we want to. So now we can keep trucking along with the actual car and getting it together. And we'll see how it's going once we're a bit more assembled. So we do have some more production gates. These ones are actually steel though. They're not alley like that one. We decided after getting the other parts of the shifter gate made that we'd get these made in steel so that the whole thing was made out of the same material. It was going to be cheaper to manufacture. So we do have some steel ones, which means that if we want to, we could actually use some of these to sort of start modifying, you know, weld up some more material, shave a bit of material here, and just sort of fine tune them a little bit. So if we have to, that's an option. Righto guys, it has been an afternoon. So we went to put the steering shaft in this thing and it turned into a complete afternoon of chasing issues with this setup, with this column, with it not wanting to move. So Rex and Dad have spent the whole afternoon going around all of our Holdens, having a look at all our columns, Rex's other 2 tonners, consulting the Holden like manual, the like Haynes Holden. We have an old HQ book with all the stuff in it, and what we've worked out is the column in this thing's actually broken. It's not right. So the steering column's not correct. There's something up with it. I'll have to get Rex to explain it because I was doing stuff on my computer while Rex's dad figured all that out. So I'll have to get Rex to explain exactly what's going on, but we need to source and fix this column properly so that it, you know, works properly. So I'll get Rex to explain that. In the meantime, Bo's actually gluing our chrome strips onto our grill so that they're fixed properly and glued. But anyway, as you can see, our line separators, they've been annealed, so hopefully they hold up to the heat and, you know, stay there pretty well. But look how good this thing's starting to look as it comes together. I've got this box just sitting in here. We've still got to sort out our washer bottle. So we're not as far through the build as I thought. Rex was explaining to me before that there's still a lot of stuff he's got to figure out once we can power the car up, because he's got a lot of wiring that he's got to chase in the stock wiring, which is why it's not been put away yet. So we need to get the car to a point where we can power it up, get the battery hooked up so that Rex can start chasing some wiring. So I've just got that box sitting in there, but until we sort out the actual washer motor for the washer jets and stuff like that, we can't sort of finish mounting that and have it all finished off. But anyway, you get the gist of it. It's coming together. It's looking awesome. It is getting close. It's not as close as I thought, but it's getting close. Our shift is set up. Hopefully it's going to work pretty well. We'll just keep ticking along with it. keep soldiering through it. So shout out to barreltheworld.com. Righto guys, so I just made the other water line for the turbo, and I'm pretty certain that that is the last line that had to be made for this car. Pretty sure that we're officially finished the plumbing and lines, which is crazy because it's been freaking huge. There's been so much in this car, but man, does that feel good. So as you can see, Rex has started to dive into the wiring. I've wired in our flex fuel sensor. That was a real pain, but I got it in there. Oh, actually, no, it wasn't the last line. Sorry guys, I was wrong. We still have to do the pressure bypass for the gearbox, so there's still those lines, so I was wrong. Damn it. But anyway, still, just freaking, just look at it. Man, so cool seeing this come together. So sick watching it all come together. Righto guys, so this is the first time it's all been together since we got all of the powder coating done and stuff. Since everything's been painted, this is the first time we've seen it all together with the firewall, powder coating and everything, and it's...
What if I told you the thrill of running a red light, chasing a recent bright memory through a bent pipe? When you get older, some just wanna hang fire with the rest of a soldier on, sleeping on the tram line. What's the point if we can't escape a landmine? Sand slides faster each day, one day we can die. We'll just ignore it, let the revs chant. I burn laps around the sun for face first to the campfire.
Look at it. It's just perfect. It's exactly what we were going for. There's still just a little bit of tidying up of obviously the wiring and stuff that's sort of just tucked around here, but just for illustrative purposes, I wanted to get it all together so that we could have a look. And my goodness. It's the perfect amount, I reckon, of beige, black, and raw and stainless accents to break it all up. Everything, it just worked out perfect. I feel like it's just perfectly broken up and just, oh, with the grill as well. This is the first time we've seen it with everything and all the front end all together with the grill. Oh, it's just so sick. Dump pipes in, Ryan's awesome fab work. So sick. Freaking awesome.